Exodus chapter 1, very simple chapter. Now, the first 5 verses of Exodus chapter 1 to me is a summary of Genesis chapter 46, verses 7 through 27, because it talks about the bloodline, all the 70 souls plus Joseph, who was already in Egypt, who are now in Egypt. But the two people that was missing was the adopted sons, Ephraim and Manasseh. So chapter 1 begins with the bloodline of Israel. Then we continue on. So we have the children of Israel who came to Egypt free, not slaves. They were free men and women, and they were guests in Egypt because of famine in the land. In between the times, from the time they arrived as free people, they ended up slaves in Egypt due to a change in regime. Now, that king, the new Pharaoh was so overwhelmed with fear and um, not liking the Hebrews that he continued to not only have them slaves, it was a mistreatment of the slaves and the way he was oppressing them and misusing them. I mean, so many different things that we discussed in chapter 1. But despite of all that mistreatment that the Pharaoh did, the children of Israel grew, continued to multiply, became numerous, as I word study for mighty came from. So Pharaoh did what Pharaoh did. He worked out of fear and he decided to come up with a plan for population control. He had two plans. Plan one, he called the midwives. He called Shiphrah and Puah and told them to make sure that they kill every infant male that is born by the Hebrews. So all midwives, this is what you're supposed to be doing. But they honored Jehovah. They did not do that. And they came to him as he was figuring out that the infant males were still been born. What have you done? Why haven't you did what I said? And specifically, they said that the Hebrew women are not like Egypt. They have them babies before we even arrive, which is probably true because there are some births that happen so quickly that here the baby is. So that probably happened the majority of the time. So who can say yay or nay? So that didn't work for the Pharaoh. So he came up with another plan. He charged all his people to throw all the infant males of the Hebrew descent into the Nile. So that was his plan, which still did not work for him. It didn't work for him. It didn't work for him because we still have a special baby that's going to come out of this in chapter 2. Now, in my insight, I really, really want us to be very careful with putting race in the Bible when it is not there. Unfortunately, as human beings who've been dealing with race on this earth, we tend to put what's not in the Bible in the Bible. The Bible is tribal people, it is not based on racial people. Remember, Shem and Ham. Shem is the bloodline where the children of Israel came from. Ham is the bloodline that the Egyptian people came from. They were brothers. And I'll let you fill out the rest of that. So I have no questions today. There's my cross reference all for Exodus chapter 1.